So traditional method wines are the way they make wines in Champagne. So essentially, you make a base wine at the end of the harvest, much like everyone else does, and then you subject the wine to a second fermentation. Every fermentation creates CO2. And the CO2 in a closed environment doesn't escape. So in the case of a traditional method, the secondary fermentation is in the bottle. And in the case of a Charmat style wine, which is the way they make Prosecco, the secondary fermentation happens in a large tank. And it's filtered and bottled under pressure. Whereas with traditional methods, you go through a process called dégorgement, which is removing the sediment from the fermentation. Ancestral is a little different in that, well, the old way they used to do it, and it's the original way of making sparkling wine, so discovered in the 1600s. And so it would be, in the fall they would make a wine, and it would cool down in the cellars, and the fermentation would stop because they didn't like, yeast doesn't like really cool temperatures, but they just kind of go dormant. So they would bottle in the winter time, eager to get the wine in bottle and have it ready for spring. And then in the spring, it would go through a small little fermentation in the bottle, causing bubbles. So what we're doing here is not that, because it's unpredictable and bottle breaking and inconsistent. So we are doing it by, we're creating the environment in a tank. And that was so that we have a consistency across all the bottles and we know what's going on, because some bottles will ferment more than others, and you have breaking bottles, and the consumer simply wouldn't accept that. So
it's not a very common method, this artisanal.
No, as far as I know, we're essentially the only people doing that. I know there are a couple other wines that are like that, but we're the only ones making it with, first of all, Gamay, which is a traditional varietal for using it. In France, anyway, in Bouches-sur-Dent, where it's made a lot, they're using Gamay and Plessard. So we're making with 100% Gamay, which is also acceptable. And I know that Malavoie is making one that's with Chard Muscat. It's really nice, but it's a lighter spritz and it's under screw cap. But we're the only ones that are doing, it's about 2.5 bar pressure.